So after getting 90 points in the Championship last season, Daniel Farke's Leeds still managed to fail Premier League promotion. Can they do better this season? Let's speak about it. So just before I start the video, I'm just going to ask you guys quickly to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I offer alternative football content where I actually use facts and figures, stats and pictures to show what I'm speaking about, opposed to other people like the club who just clickbait the content. So if you like what you hear, subscribe to the channel. So as I mentioned, last season, Leeds managed to get 90 points throughout the season, playing a 4-2-3-1. Daniel Farke, promotion expert, and he failed in his first season at Leeds just like he did at Norwich. They lost to Southampton in the playoff final, and ultimately it was a game where they didn't actually play too well. In the semi-final, they brushed Norwich aside and they just couldn't perform in the final. A lot of key players have left them from last season. So Summerville has gone to West Ham for around 30 million. Archie Gray's left for around 40 million. Rutter has left for Brighton for around 40 million. Glen Kamara's left. There's a couple more other transfers, but they've made around 120, 130 million in fees this season already. Coming in as replacements are signed Ramazani. He's come from the top division of Spain. He looks to be a tricky winger. He might be good. Not 100% sure on that yet. They've signed Joe Rodon back from Spurs, a fee of around 10 million. Jayden Bogle's come in. He's going to be right back. He's going to replace Archie Gray, and I feel like he's a very good Championship replacement. And Joe Rothwell's coming on loan. Funnily enough, he was part of that Southampton team that beat them in the playoff final last season, and he's back in the Championship with Daniel Farke. And here you can see the lineup which they've been using at the start of the season. So at right back, as you can see, Archie Gray's been replaced by Jayden Bogle, good player. At left wing, you see Gnonto's come in for Summerville. Gnonto, I remember when he first joined Leeds, and although they got relegated, he was this shining light in their season, and he was rumoured to be going for like 30 or 40 million. Very capable first division. They've also got Aronson at central attacking midfielder. He's a great replacement for Rutter. Up front they've got Matteo Joseph, who didn't play too much last season. He made a few bench appearances, maybe a couple of starts, but already he's shining. So far this season, they've drawn 2 games. One of those was at home to Portsmouth, newly promoted from League One, and it was a 3-3 draw, and they were pretty close to losing it until Brendan Aronson equalised for them, and they should have brushed aside Pompey, really. I know that they're a decent team under John Mousinho, but it's a newly promoted side. And then they got a 0-0 away at West Brom, and West Brom are good. They've got Carlos Corberán as manager, former Leeds pedigree when he was a coach there with Bielsa. And then this week they've just won Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 away from home, and it was an emphatic performance. Let's just look at a couple of their goals now. So the first one, it was, Meslier as the ball, and they've just regained possession from Sheffield Wednesday, and this is all within about 10 or 15 seconds. So it goes out to the right-hand side, some clever interplay between, Rodon, Bogle, I think Ampadu's involved, and then all of a sudden, Gnonto's set free, and he's in this left wing role where he's free roam, and it's really good to see. And then he springs the ball forward, and Joseph has the ball, and he gets dispossessed, and then ultimately Aronson scores, but it's absolutely lethal how quick that counter-attack was from Leeds. And if you give them a little bit of space like Sheffield Wednesday did, Sheffield Wednesday did very well with Danny Rowe last season, but, playing against Leeds, a team with Premier League pedigree throughout. And then you look at the second goal, and it's another one where, they've lost Rutter, and they're thinking, where's the creativity going to come from? And Matteo Joseph playing a similar position where it's a striker who's interlinking with the midfield and the defence. He gets the ball deep and sets Daniel James away down the wing, and he makes it 2-0. And although these were very good goals, throughout the whole match, Leeds were dominating it, and they worked possession very well. They made spaces very well. Bogle at right back was basically, the fifth attacker for them, because they had Farke, who was more conservative. He was getting forward, but he was very much sort of trying to hang back and letting Gnonto do his thing. But Bogle's been a very good addition, although I don't think he can defend the back post very well. I'm a Sheffield United fan, I should know. Going forward, he's ultimately one of the best players in the Championship at that position. They play a very high press. They get into the half spaces very well. Talking of Bogle, he was in the half spaces a lot. Gnonto was drifting, finding players like Joseph, and Perot came on and did well. They've got so many players. And as I say, Farke is an expert at getting promoted from the Championship. He did it with Norwich twice. The only issue is for Leeds, if they do go up this season, which I think they will, I think them and Burnley are going to be very good. How they're going to do in the Premier League, I'm not too sure. And talking of Burnley, they're the only real competitor that I see this season in the Championship for the title for Leeds. You look at the other two relegated sides, and Sheffield United, they've gone for a squad rebuild. Chris Wilder's gone to say, it's going to get better. Already they've had 1 win and 2 draws, and it's looking decent. The football's getting more cohesive. With Luton, they've come down, and I know they've got a few injuries at the start of this season, but they're not doing too well at all. They've got a couple of points. They got absolutely thrashed by Burnley on opening day at home, and they might come into the season, but they've had quite a few players like Barkley, leave, and I don't think Shannon Baptiste is up to that quality. And then you've got a few other teams who are going to flirt with the top 6. West Brom, Middlesbrough, Coventry, even Watford have started the season well. So there's quite a few teams who I don't think are, automatic promotion quality, but there's a few playoff pushers. And overall, I think it's a really weak Championship division this season. The 3 best teams got promoted last season. The 3 teams that have replaced them at the top end are nowhere near as good, other than Burnley. And it's a real opportunity for Daniel Farke to get his 3rd promotion on his CV from the Championship. And I know that Leeds are serial bottle jobs, and I'm a Sheffield United fan, and I don't want Leeds to go up. I don't enjoy watching them do well, but what can you say? They're a well-run club. They've got players worth so much money. They've spent about, a fifth of the amount of money which they've already brought in this season, so they've got a lot of money in the bank, parachute payments. The squad's only going to get better. The fans don't like a player like Joel Perot who'd walk into most Championship sides, and that speaks volumes of how good their squad is. So let me know how you think Leeds will do down in the comments below. As I say, subscribe to the channel. I offer alternative, analytical content on the Championship, on the Premier League, on wider footballing topics. If you like what you hear, I'd appreciate you sticking around. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.